Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check us out at buildingfortunesradio.com. Along with our marketing partners, we're here to help our PM Marketing Network Lead customers build their businesses and make the world a better place. At Building Fortunes, we know how much your business means to you and the people important to you. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world. Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingles.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingles here. You're listening to us on Building Fortunes Radio. Today is Saturday. It is April 9th. I can't believe 3 months are already gone. We're into the fourth month. You're either ahead or behind on your goals. Chances are a little bit of both, depending on what area of your life you're referencing. So we are here on Building Fortunes Radio to help people if they're interested in earning extra money, working at building a home-based business, enjoying helping other people. And I share the microphone on Saturday in the afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern Time with a really great friend of ours. His name is Dr. Ariston Awitan. And if you've ever had a chance to work with Dr. Awitan before, you know that he is very knowledgeable in many areas and just extremely nice as well. If you listen to the very first radio show that we did, so the very, very, very first radio show that we ever did, he really went through an in-depth idea of who he is and what he does and how he got here, and it is really worth listening to because you always want to hook up with people that you like and that you can trust, and he is just an unbelievable gentleman. He is a retired physician. He's in the chapters of his life right now where he can help people build home-based businesses, and he's giving back to his old country, the Philippines, as we go through this. So if you are looking for a mentor and someone to work with, you want to work with Dr. Awitan first. Now, the second part is he's educating us about the new cryptocurrencies. Now, this is very appealing to me personally because of the state of the economy, because of the global everything, and also because of the predatory rates that the banks charge me for doing business. So, for instance, I'm a regular merchant over here at Building Fortunes Radio. We have network leads and Building Fortunes, all the other stuff that we do, and it costs me anywhere from 3 to 5% just for someone else to handle my money. So if you really think about it, I am paying 3 to 5% out of every $100 for someone just to handle my money. And I am really waiting for this cryptocurrency, this stuff become mainstream so more of our customers could use this because this way I get a little bit more or a lot more control over what I actually do. So I am all over this conversation about cryptocurrency. So I'm learning as you're listening, and I want to throw this over to Dr. Awitan. So Dr. Awitan, back to you.
Thank you very much, Peter. I am Dr. Ariston Awitan Jr., born and raised in the Philippines and immigrated to the United States in 1965 with my family, a physician by profession, orthopedic surgeon by specialty, and network marketer by choice. I was in private practice as board-certified orthopedic surgeon for 33 years in the southeast part of Houston in Pasadena, Texas. I'm martial artist. I'm interested in health, physical fitness, antioxidants, free radicals for about 20 years. Now that I'm retired, I have a mission to do. I want to give back to my old country, the Philippines, something significant. I want to help equip the charity hospital, the Philippine General Hospital, which serves our poor population who cannot afford private medical care. And today we are going to continue our discussion about our Vizionary business. Now, specifically, we are going to explain to you the 10 reasons to join Vizionary. Number 1, participate in one of the most profitable and fastest growing trends of the next decade. Number 2, there are 12 ways to earn an income with Vizionary. Number 3, no auto ships and you can earn 5 ways without sponsoring. Number 4, profit from the movement of money, the true supply and demand. Number 5, the cryptocurrency industry is larger than all of the network marketing industry combined, and that means it's $80 trillion. Number 6, send and receive money anywhere in the world. Number 7, exchange into any currency instantly without fees. Number 8, businesses can accept Capricoin and eliminate all credit card and transaction fees. Number 9, loyalty programs and cashbacks rewards programs for companies. And number 10, we are the only home business cryptocurrency on 3 regulated exchange fed. We are real currency with true blockchain technology like Bitcoin. Now we have to listen to an expert, Advisor Gary Conner from Altcoin Today. And here we go.
Okay, welcome everyone to the Visionary training call here on Tuesday. Today we have a special guest that I'm going to introduce very quickly. And on your screen, you'll probably see Altcoin Today. That is, as it says, your daily crypto news. And we just happen to have the editor-in-chief and the cryptocurrency expert and a fellow that I've met through a line of Luca Damianoff and Kaylee. What's Kaylee's last name, Gary?
Taylor.
Kaylee Taylor introduced me to Gary, and after about 30 days of being in this and launching this, I had spoke to several quote-unquote cryptocurrency experts that, quite honestly, I hung up on one. One wasn't the expert that he claimed to be, and one couldn't answer the difficult questions. And it all had to do with regulatory type things and procedures. And so today's training, we're going to talk about really cryptocurrency as a whole in the marketplace, what the very first cryptocurrency was in Bitcoin, when they launched, why they launched, and the footprint that they've made and the path that they've paved to allow us second-generation cryptocurrencies to improve upon what they originally came to market with, and as we know it here today, a Vizionary or Capricoin, a 2.0 version of Bitcoin. So as we get started, everyone welcome, and I'm proud to introduce and come to know a fellow by the name of Gary Conner that you're going to meet right now, who is I think his publication is the 3rd largest in the world, Altcoin Today, which is a overview, a news type platform, anything and everything to do with cryptocurrency. So without further ado, our in-house advisor for the cryptocurrency world and us being on some external exchanges really had a lot to do with the relationship now that we've built with Gary here. So Gary, real quick, come in and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about how you got started. What is this Altcoin Today, and when did you start in cryptocurrency, and why did you start in cryptocurrency is, I guess, the best way to get started here. So go ahead, Gary. Introduce yourself to the Visionary members here.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I am indeed Gary. I am the owner of AltcoinToday.com, the cryptocurrency newspaper. The reason I started it is when I started looking into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a little bit, but when I started getting into cryptocurrencies, there wasn't any information anywhere. You could do a Google search for Bitcoin, and you talk to people who didn't have any concept of how to speak human to you. They were all computer programmers, all coders, and there just wasn't an outlet for regular human speaking concepts and things like that. So that's why I started Altcoin Today. I actually wanted to teach people about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies right from the get-go. As soon as I figured out what it was all about, I actually did get into Bitcoin pretty early, but unbeknownst to me, I didn't know what it was going to do, and I actually purchased 10,000 Bitcoins for $50 approximately, or 1,000, I can't remember. It's been a little while, but it was for my daughter for a video game, and she wanted to buy an avatar power pack or something like that. And so that was actually my first purchase, was this micro penny thing called Bitcoin. Well, let's roll forward here today. You can see right there on the page, it's $265 a coin. So, and I wish I had those 1,000 or 10,000, whatever it was now. Yeah, I certainly do. Well, this is what has really driven me to look at other cryptocurrencies, because unlike Bitcoin back in 2009 when it was launched, nobody knew what it would do. Well, now we have seen what a properly distributed, properly managed cryptocurrency can do. The reason why cryptocurrency is so amazing is because, number one, it has no borders. You can transfer money all over the planet, and there's no regulatory commissions. There's nobody charging you fees. You can send any amount of money you want, anywhere you want, to anybody who happens to have a wallet. And these the wallets and things like that are getting much easier, and it's going to actually allow for second and third world countries that don't have really good banking systems to actually have access to a worldwide monetary system. And that's what's really exciting about Bitcoin for me, is that's what it does. Now, why would we be talking about Capricoin and versus Bitcoin when we all just go coins? The primary reason we don't do it is because the mining has been going on so long that it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to actually successfully mine a Bitcoin today. You need that much in computer hardware. You need that much in electricity to even compete on that level, unless you join a multi-pool. But even still, the initial capital investment is so great that it just doesn't make sense to your for your average users. This is what Capricoin is bringing to people. Instead of everybody having to own all of their own equipment, we're joining a large pool through Vizionary to mine Capricoins. Now, why wouldn't we do that with Bitcoin? Well, again, Bitcoin has a few flaws, and one of the biggest flaws that Bitcoin has is its speed. It's not very fast. You know, I've mentioned that you can run money all over the world, but it takes time for Bitcoin to happen, to actually get onto the network and to be registered by the blockchain and that transaction to appear in another wallet someplace else, somewhere in the world. This is what Capricoin is doing differently. We've basically created a coin that has written out all of the flaws that Bitcoin has. And the biggest, most exciting thing about Capricoin and Vizionary, the reason that I got involved, was it is educating people about what cryptocurrencies are. It's giving people access to people like myself who have already done the hard work to figure out how it works. It's giving the tools and information to show you how to implement it into your daily life. This is the future. This is why I went into cryptocurrencies, because when I was a younger person, 20s, this little thing called the Internet came out, and the dot-com boom. Well, I knew there was something there, but I couldn't convince my dad at the time to pay attention to it. Well, in my opinion, cryptocurrencies are the dot-com boom number 2. This is the future. This is going to create a whole new Internet. It's going to create an entire new way to process money, information, tangible assets, everything. Cryptocurrencies are the future. That's why I paid attention to it 2 years ago and went all in. I sold everything that I had. I got rid of my business, and I started doing this full-time 2 years ago because I believe in this industry. Anyway, I'm here. This is Gary.
Well, very good, Gary. I remember the very first conversation that we had. We were on a three-way call with Kaylee, and she introduced you as a cryptocurrency expert, and I went, okay, here we go. And then to my surprise, do you remember the very first sentence or paragraph that you said to me on that three-way call? I asked you if you had watched the videos. Do you remember what your reply was, Gary?
Well, no, yeah, it was really kind of a funny thing. Clay had sent me the Vizionary video, the one that most people have already seen, and I watched that and I thought, holy mackerel, these guys are recording me. This is exactly what I have been saying for 2.5 years to everybody that I can get in front of. Somehow they got my information and they put it into the right package. That's why I decided to join Vizionary and Capricoin to help with what they're doing, because it's literally what I have been saying for 2 years. This is the answer. We need to get this information out. The only way to do that, you know, you can take ads out in newspapers. People ignore that stuff. But people like to work with people. And if you can monetize that process and then incentivize people to teach other people, this is how the cryptocurrency will be created. This is the future, and this is the way to do it. And that's exactly why I joined Vizionary, because of exactly what Andy just said. This video is basically what I always have been saying.
Guys, understand that when we researched Bitcoin and we looked at its capabilities, sometimes in life people build better mousetraps. And our innovative strategies, just look at the MLM platform itself. We are introducing this through an MLM distribution arm for a reason. It's part of an innovative strategy. It's part of marketing. It's part of starting with some sound thinkers, some sound-minded people who think along the same lines, whereas we diversify, where we have – understand our platform, guys, is all based – what's the number one contributor on an external exchange that drives the value, Gary? Explain how value is really determined on an external exchange, and what is Vizionary doing that nobody else is doing to take full advantage of that volume so it is precipitant in the value on the external exchange?
That's kind of a big question. An exchange basically is an open auction for an asset of any type. People used to go to the cattle exchange or the cow auctions to buy and sell cattle. The currency exchange, the cryptocurrency exchange, does the same thing where people take their fiat money and they bid for cryptocurrencies on these exchanges. Now, what gives a cryptocurrency any value? This is a big question. Technically, there is nothing of value in a cryptocurrency because it was manufactured out of thin air and it's just numbers on a computer, right? It's not gold. You can't hold it. You can't eat it. It has no value. Well, this is what the Capricoin mining system does. It creates value because people are spending money to mine the coins. It actually gives it value because people have invested in it, and they're more likely to hold it for whatever they invested it in than they are to just give it away for free. So that's how value is created in the cryptocurrency world, is by mining the coins. And so out on the open platform, on the open exchange, you can buy and sell Capricoins to anybody. You don't even know who the person is you're selling to, but they are available to be bought and sold on an open public exchange. And that's a lot different than some of these other systems that have tried to do a cryptocurrency multi-level platform. They actually never had a fully functional cryptocurrency. They were all their own little internal platforms, basically violating every security and exchange law you can imagine around the world. So this is what Capricoin is doing differently with Vizionary. It actually has a real live operating functional cryptocurrency and a fully functional blockchain.
And to add,
I don't know if I answered your question, Andy.
Oh, you did. We're trying to keep it as basic as possible for the folks out there. One thing that I get a question a lot about, since we're on Bittrex and we're also on Blue Trade, they're two totally different exchanges. One's paired to Bitcoin, and one is paired to the U.S. dollar. Can you explain exactly what that means to a member here in Vizionary or an external user or the like?
Yes. Most all cryptocurrencies are only available to be traded for Bitcoins because of the way the exchanges were created. They didn't have fiat to cryptocurrency pairings, and Bittrex does not have a fiat, aka U.S. dollar, pairing for Capricoin. Blue Trade, a secondary exchange, they both have Bitcoin pairings. Both Bittrex and Blue Trade have Bitcoin pairings. However, Blue Trade does allow you to fund your account with U.S. dollars and actually purchase Capricoins with U.S. dollars. They have a U.S. dollar fund pairing available there. So typically when you're working within the cryptocurrency world, we're not really a fiat system, we're a Bitcoin system. So we're paired against Bitcoin pretty much all the way across the board. But as the future rolls out, like with Blue Trade and the ability to go in and out of euros and U.S. dollars directly bypassing Bitcoin, this is going to be a change in the way that people think. But right now everybody kind of thinks, I need to get a Bitcoin and I need to go to the exchange and I trade my Bitcoins for Capricoins. That's how it's been. But as the U.S. dollar fiat pairings improve on all exchanges, that will be replaced in the future. But right now it's kind of a Bitcoin thing.
Okay, great. Another question is, if somebody wanted to sell their Capricoin through one of the exchanges, what would they do? Does everybody need to set up a Blue Trade account or a Bittrex account, or what do you recommend for somebody that has, when we open up our e-wallets and we release and distribute the Capricoins to the members, if they want to sell that on the external market, are they getting Capricoin or are they getting fiat currency, or what's the procedure to get paid? Let's say they want to sell some Capricoin for whatever reason.
Okay. Well, let's just talk about U.S. and Canada pretty much. The actual way you do it is you will receive your Capricoins into your local wallet. You can then open up a Bittrex or Blue Trade account. It doesn't matter. They're both anonymous. They're very easy to set up. You just sign up for Bittrex, and you transfer your coins from your local wallet to the Bittrex wallet, at which point you can go into the market and you can sell your coins to somebody else willing to buy them. And that gets turned into Bitcoin. Once you have that Bitcoin, you can transfer that to Coinbase, your Coinbase wallet, which will be linked to your checking account, and you just sell them. And they instantly get sold, and the next day you get money in your personal checking account. The whole thing takes about 4 minutes to actually do all of those things that I just said. It doesn't take very much work at all. I will be creating a video exactly how to do that. So that'll be available in the near future.
Okay, well, thank you very much. The other question we get a lot is, explain the difference between, there's a lot of different types of cryptocurrencies out there. Some are proof of work, some are proof of stake. Could you explain briefly the difference between a proof of work coin and a proof of stake coin?
Okay, the proof of work is basically Bitcoin. It's algorithm, its programming code is known as SHA-256, and that is a proof of work type coin, which means to create and generate new coins and to support the network, you have to have miners pointed at the network creating these coins. The downside to perpetual mining is as the value of the coins go up, there's going to be perpetual down pressure by the creation of these new coins. So that's kind of a problem. Now, proof of stake operates very differently. Now, again, when I mentioned that you need to have a miner, why a miner is necessary, let's say you go into the store to purchase a cup of coffee. You pay your vendor in Bitcoin. Some miner in the world will pick up that transaction and confirm it, and then 10 others will confirm it, and as soon as all of those 10 have confirmed that transaction, it becomes a permanent part of the ledger of the blockchain. So that's what the miners do. They actually confirm transactions as people are using Bitcoin. Well, as Bitcoin gets more difficult to mine, and eventually Capricoin is going to be in kind of a similar situation where it's going to be so expensive that you don't really want to have a mined coin. You want the network to support itself. Now, proof of stake, instead of having miners confirming transactions, everybody who has a local wallet on their computer participates in the confirmation process, and everybody gets a little bit of a reward from the processing of those transactions. So instead of the network getting smaller and smaller and smaller, more focused as it gets more difficult to mine, the Capricoin network is going to grow faster, stronger. The more people who join, the bigger and badder it gets. It's a self-sustaining system, and that's the proof of stake portion of Capricoin, and that's one of the most unique features about it. Number one, it's lightning fast. I mentioned that it takes a long time to send Bitcoins around. Sometimes it can take up to 15 minutes before somebody sees that you paid them, and it can take up to 6 hours before you can spend those Bitcoins that you've received. Capricoin, you will see them typically in less than 3 seconds, and you can spend them again in 3 minutes, and that's due to the proof of stake nature of the system, of the network, because every time a person opens up a wallet on their computer, they're participating in the network confirmation process, and thus making the network faster. So that's kind of the difference. Proof of work means a miner is creating coins. Proof of stake means the holders, users, and adopters are supporting the network.
Very good. Okay, I'm going to answer or ask a couple of questions. Guys, if you have questions, just type them into the chat, please. Very first question. It looks like Shri Avuma asks, how do we know, how can we really trust the external exchanges?
Bittrex specifically, I'm going to talk about Bittrex. They have demonstrated you really can't trust people like Bernie Madoff, who did the biggest Ponzi scheme in the whole world. You know, it really comes down to people's ethics and things like that. It comes down to whether they're willing to break the law. However, Bittrex has taken an industry first step to get its New York bit license, and it cost them about $25,000 to file for this actual license. It included background checks. It included financials. It included everything you can imagine for a financial institution to go through, like a bank, to comply with those regulations. So you can trust Bittrex is probably going to be there. You know, again, you can't 100% say Bernie Madoff wasn't going to do, or an Enron or whatever, but the likelihood that they're going to go the straight and narrow based upon the fact they have complied with the licensing that's required to operate in New York State, that's why you can trust them.
Okay, well, thank you very much. If we could,
I have about $6 million worth of coins on Bittrex right now, just so everybody knows. I trust.
Okay, wow, that's impressive. Right now, here in the U.S. and Canada, really cryptocurrencies have been really categorized as real property, and they have capital gain type exposures to them. Where do you see, because these exchanges are not quote-unquote SEC regulated. These are external exchanges that have their own rules and regulations in which they promulgate under. But where do you see the cryptocurrency world going in the future for regulation and or compliance type maybe fees around the world? How do you see this being adapted in the long term?
You know, that's another really big question, Andy. That's a huge crystal ball to look into. It's so unknown. I know that a few countries have out and out banned it, China and Russia. They basically said everybody's going to go to jail if you use it, and guess what? They reversed their decision on that because everybody started doing it offshores. They can't control it, so when the regulations get too stringent, people will en masse move. Like I said, China and Russia at one point actually outlawed the thing, and they had to come back on that decision because they just lost their customers. They lost their people. The didn't actually most significant steps in actual regulation and government adoption of cryptocurrencies where they at least recognize it's here. They were trying to get rid of the wild, wild west of the people who do stock, or should I say, exchange pumps and dumps and illegal exchanges who were dishonest, who didn't have developers that had any track record. So as far as the future goes, it's a very big question. It's hard to see where it's at. In California, cryptocurrencies are recognized as a formal currency, which is the first time in history since the U.S. dollar was created. So it is moving forward here in the U.S. and around the world. It's definitely going somewhere. But as far as an ironclad plan for regulation and things like that, that's still very thin air.
Okay. Peter, I think it's time for station break.
I don't think we have time for a station break. Believe it or not, we're almost done. It's almost 30 minutes into our show, so we are done. We are done for today. We're going to have to continue next time. So for those people listening in, you listen to Dr. Awitan on Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you go check it out. And Dr. Awitan, we ran out of time. We're going to catch you next week, everyone.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the designated Building Fortunes Radio segment with Peter Mingles. Be sure to check out the buildingfortunesradio.com website for our featured segments. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.